So we're going to talk about controlled movement today. And why would we want to do controlled movement? Well, you can see on this card we have on screen, we have a graphic. And we want to move this by controls, by an input, such as the keyboard. Now you can move things with the move command and using a path, but we're not going to do that because we want to control the entire movement. So what we need to do in this example that I have on screen will show you that we can move this graphic using the keyboard, and it will return the current location of this graphic within this field down here. And you'll notice that it gives two values, 419, 147. Well, 419 is the X value, which is the horizontal movement, and 147, which is the Y value. The Y value is our vertical movement. So in revolution, what we need to do is we need to use the property location to, one, get the location and to manipulate the location. So we do that very simply within a stack script. So we're going to edit the script of the stack. And what we did here, and let's go up to the top here, is you can see is I put the location of button hero into T current location. So this is currently a button, and that button is called button hero. Then we put this T current location into field current location, which is this field down here. Then we take item 1, that's the first number before the comma of the variable, and we put it into field lock X, which is this field right here. Then we put item 2, which is the second item after the comma, and we put it into this field. So that's basically the script. But what we did is we broke this into functions. So I built a custom function, myXlock, to return the location of the Y axis. And I did another one for the XY axis. So both of them were pretty much the same. We put the location of button hero into T current location. This one we put item 1 into T current location into T lock. We return T lock. So it gives us the location of the X or horizontal placement on the card. And we do the same here, and all we change is telling it that it's item 2, and we put it into the T lock Y, and it returns the T lock I. To return the data as we've seen here, we have a command. So we put the location of button hero into T current location. We do basically all the same thing that we showed you up here. That could be a button script that is currently in this message or note block structure. So we take these functions and we add that to an action. And the action that we're going to perform is the arrow key. We added that script to the card script, and let's look at it now. So you can see up here in my notes, my X lock equals X function, my Y lock equals Y function. So what we're going to do is put that function, XY lock, into T now X lock. We're also going to put the my Y lock function into T now Y lock. So this function within these parentheses will return the current X and Y location and put them into these variables. We'll then do an if structure using if P direction is right, then add 4 to T now lock. So now we're adding 4 pixels per button press of the right to the T now lock number, which is in this variable. We do the same thing for left, but instead of add, we subtract 4 pixels. And then we do the same again for down and up. Down, we add 4 to the T now Y lock, while the up button, we subtract 4 from the T Y lock. Then we move to a new location. We put the T now X lock and, comma, T now Y lock into T new location. We set the location property of button hero to T new location. So basically, by using the arrow keys and by adding and subtracting the location of this graphic by this number of pixels, we can now move this graphic freely on screen. So this is very similar to a vertical shooter, in that now if I press up, the ship goes up. I press down, the ship goes down. Press forward, the ship goes forward. And I press left, and the ship goes backwards. If we change one thing in here, if we notice that went kind of slow, we might want to change the speed of that. Since we're going 4 pixels, what happens if we change it to 8 pixels per second? We'll have to change this value for all of these in here and come back and compile. And now let's try it. Press the arrow key forward. You'll notice the ship now goes faster. We'll press the arrow key left, and the ship goes backwards much faster. Up and down. So here is a basic movement for a vertical or horizontal shooter. Obviously, if you're doing a vertical shooter, you may not want to pull the vertical or the y-axis and only have your ship go back and forth. One thing you'll notice is on this movement, it does go off screen. That's because we haven't yet talked about collision. We can set the collision of the card rect to stop the player at a certain point along the screen. So that is a basic controlled movement using the keyboard. Very, very simply done, and it's one of the building blocks to doing anything for 2D video games. So thanks for joining me, and have fun.